Everything you need to know before planning your Africa trip for the Great Migration. Imagine watching millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles braving predator filled waters, crossing vast savannas, and surviving the wild. This is the Great Migration, one of the most spectacular wildlife events on Earth. If you ever dreamed of witnessing it in person, this video is for you. I'm Neha, and today I'll break down everything you need to know before planning your African safari. From the best time to visit, where to go, what to expect, and crucial travel tips. So let's get started. First, timing is everything. Before we talk about when to see the Great Migration, it's important to understand what is the Great Migration. The Great Migration is the largest land-based migration in the world, where millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles are moving between Tanzania's Serengeti and Kenya's Masai Mara. Their journey is driven by one thing: food. They're constantly chasing fresh grass and water, creating one of the most incredible wildlife spectacles on Earth. But to experience it fully, you need to understand Africa's seasons, because they shape everything about your safari experience. First, let's talk the dry season from June to October. This is prime for wildlife viewing. With water sources drying up, animals naturally gather around rivers and waterholes, making them easier to spot. It's also when Great Migration reaches its most dramatic phase, the Mara River crossings. Thousands of wildebeest take a leap of faith into crocodile-infested waters, and if you're lucky, you will witness one of nature's most thrilling spectacles. Now, if you visit between November and May, you'll experience the wet season. The landscape transforms into vibrant green paradise and the crowds thin out, making for a more peaceful safari. But the real highlight? This is when the calving season takes place. Over 500,000 baby wildebeest are born in just a few weeks. It's adorable but also action-packed, as predators like lions and cheetahs lurk nearby. And if you love bird watching or dramatic African thunderstorms rolling over the plains, this season won't disappoint. So whether you prefer the intensity of river crossings in the dry season or the beauty of new life of the wet season, each has something special to offer. Now let's talk about the phases of the Great Migration. So when should you go? Now that we understand Africa's seasons, let's talk about when to go for the specific migration events. The Great Migration isn't just a single event. It's a never-ending journey that moves in a cycle throughout the year. So when you go will determine what part of the epic adventure you'll witness. From January to March, it's calving season in southern Serengeti, Tanzania. Over 500,000 baby wildebeest are born in just a few weeks. It's a magical time to visit, not only because of the adorable newborns, but also because predators like lions and cheetahs are everywhere, making this one of the most thrilling safari experiences. By April to June, the migration begins. The herds leave the southern plains and start heading north through the Serengeti. This is a fantastic time for classic game drives. There are fewer crowds and you still get incredible wildlife sightings. Then comes the moment everyone talks about, the famous river crossings, happening from July to October. Thousands of wildebeest take the ultimate risk, plunging into crocodile-infested waters to reach greener pastures. If you want to see this dramatic scene unfold, head to Serengeti in Tanzania from July to early August, or Masai Mara in Kenya from mid-August to October. Finally, from November to December, the herds make their way back to Serengeti, completing this never-ending cycle of survival and renewal. So when is the best time to go? Well, that depends on what you want to see. Newborn calves and predator action, massive herds on the move, or heart-pounding river crossings. Next, how to choose the right destination. So where should you go to witness the Great Migration? The migration moves between two main countries, Tanzania and Kenya. And while both offer an incredible safari experience, each has its own unique charm. Let's start with Serengeti, Tanzania. If you're looking for a longer, more immersive safari, this is the place to be. The Serengeti is massive, offering diverse landscapes from endless golden plains to woodlands and riverbanks. It's the perfect destination for experiencing calving season in the south, dramatic Grumeti river crossings in the west, and the sheer scale of the herds on the move. And if you have extra time, you can extend your trip to places like Gorongoro Crater and Lake Manyara. Now, these spots aren't part of the Great Migration, but they are unmissable if you're already in Tanzania. Gorongoro is a wildlife haven, home to the Big Five, all inside a breathtaking volcanic crater. And Lake Manyara? Think tree climbing lions, flamingos, and stunning scenery. A great stop before or after your Serengeti adventure. Now, if you have less time and want to focus on the river crossings, then Masai Mara, Kenya might be the better choice. The Mara river crossings are at their most dramatic here. Thousands of wildebeest leaping into crocodile-infested waters, a true battle for survival. And because the Masai Mara is smaller than the Serengeti, animals are easier to find and predator sightings, especially lions and cheetahs, are frequent. So, how do you choose? If you want a longer, all-encompassing safari with diverse landscapes, Tanzania is your best bet. If you're short on time and want to maximize river crossings and big cat action, Kenya is the way to go. Either way, you're in for an unforgettable adventure. Third, what to expect on a safari. Your safari experience goes beyond the Great Migration. Here's what you can expect. Picture this. You are on an early morning game drive, the golden sun rising over the savannah, when suddenly your guide spots a pride of lions lounging under an acacia tree. Or maybe a herd of elephants crossing right in front of your jeep. The Big Five, lions, leopards, elephants, rhinos, and buffalo, all are here waiting to be discovered. If you want an even closer connection to the wild, a walking safari is a must. With an expert guide, you'll explore the landscape on foot, tracking animals and learning about the smaller details, like the footprints of a leopard or the medicinal uses of local plants. It's a completely different way to experience the African bush. For something truly unforgettable, imagine floating above the Serengeti or Masai Mara at sunrise in a hot air balloon. Below you, thousands of wildebeest stretch across the plains, moving like a river of life. It's quiet, peaceful, and one of the most breathtaking views you'll ever see. And finally, no trip is complete without a cultural visit. The Masai people, known for their rich traditions and colorful attire, welcome visitors to their villages. You learn about their way of life, see their famous jumping dance, and hear stories passed down for generations. It's a chance to experience the human side of Africa beyond the wildlife. So whether you're tracking lions, walking through the bush, soaring in a balloon, or meeting the Maasai, a safari is a pure adventure. The Great Migration may be the highlight, but trust me, every moment out here is unforgettable. Next, let's talk essential travel tips. Before you start dreaming about spotting lions or witnessing the Great Migration, let's talk about some essential travel prep. Because trust me, a little planning goes a long way. First up, visas and vaccinations. If you're traveling to Kenya or Tanzania, based on which country you come from, you'll need a visa. But the good news is, most of these visas can be applied online, quick and easy. Now, let's talk vaccinations. We took a list of recommended shots before our trip, but the most important one, yellow fever. It's mandatory if you're coming from a country with a risk of transmission, and some airlines won't even let you board without proof. It's better to be safe than stuck at the airport. Aside from yellow fever, typhoid, Hep A and B, and routine shots like tetanus are also advised. And since safaris take you deep into the wild, malaria prevention is a must. We carried anti-malarial medication and lots of insect repellent because mosquitoes. Not the kind of wildlife you want to befriend. Now let's talk about packing smart, because a safari isn't your typical vacation and what you can bring can make or break your trip. First, clothing. Stick to neutral colors like khaki, olive, and tan. These help you blend into the environment and avoid attracting insects. Avoid bright colors and black. Black absorbs heat and attracts tsetse flies. You'll also want a lightweight jacket for chilly mornings and evenings, and if you're visiting during the wet season, a rainproof layer is a lifesaver. Next, gear. A good pair of binoculars is essential. Sometimes the best sightings are far off in the distance and you don't want to miss that once in a lifetime moment. A camera with a zoom lens is also highly recommended if you want to capture those incredible wildlife shots. And don't forget the sun protection kit. Safari days can get hot. Pack sunscreen, a hat, sunglasses, and a reusable water bottle to stay hydrated. Comfortable walking shoes or boots are also a must if you plan on doing a walking safari. And finally, a small day pack to carry essentials on game drives. It's handy for extra layers, snacks, or even your camera. So, visas, check. Vaccines, check. Packing, check. Now you're all set for the adventure of a lifetime. Finally, should you book through an aggregator or should you book directly with the resort? Here's my take. If it's your first time on safari, I highly recommend booking directly with a safari lodge or resort. They take care of everything. Your game drives, accommodations, meals, even airport transfers. It's seamless, stress-free, and you'll have experienced guides who know exactly where to find the best wildlife action. On the other hand, using an aggregator, a third-party tour company can sometimes be cheaper, but it also means you'll need to do your research to ensure quality. Not all safaris are created equal, and the last thing you want is to end up with a guide who doesn't know the best spots or a vehicle that breaks down in the middle of nowhere. And that's everything you need to know to plan your dream Africa trip for the Great Migration. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more travel guides, and let me know in the comments which part of the migration would you love to see the most. See you in the next video. Thank you.